Hello, procrastinators! Today we are going to talk about art, how art theft has gone digital, and how I just hate capitalism. Should be a fun one. There's a word, well, a collection of letters really, that you may have seen bashed about a bit recently. It's NFT. That stands for non-fuckwithable token, sort of. And it's basically a bit of metadata that you can stick to anything and say that you own it. It's digital ownership. Ugh. Look, I surf the waves of the original internet and I hate digital ownership, DRM, all that horseshit. The best thing about digital is that you can make unlimited copies of things, duplicate them, back them up, share them. That's the foundations of the OG internet, a world creating and sharing together where you fund the things and people that you like. Well, that and taking several nights to download a single low-resolution photo of boobies. Then, the money people turned up. You know, those cunts in ties, and they went, hey, why don't we charge for these unlimited things like they were limited? That's when everything went to shit. Say you buy a copy of the latest game, it costs £50. What you're actually paying for is a fraction of the hard work of thousands of people, years of development, and costs like rent, electricity, etc., plus a bit on top, so, you know, you keep the cunts happy. Fair enough. Digital games should be slightly cheaper than physical due to printing costs, but whatever, we'll move on. Then, microtransactions came along. Now you're paying for nothing. A change in a database somewhere. If you buy £5 of cunt tokens or £100 of them, the cost to the seller is the same. It's just a few bytes on a server somewhere. That's why I react to them like a cat to a cucumber. They go against what I believe in, and that is money for money's sake. Now, back when I was small, I used to save up my money to buy Yu-Gi-Oh cards, a starter deck, a few packs a year. Lovely jubbly. Then I discovered the video games. For one price, you got all of the cards and could play forever, and against your mates and against AI. The pay-to-win nature of trading card games vanished, leaving us with pure strategy games about dragons and magicians and whatever the fuck a Karibo is. But now it's all gone backwards. Yu-Gi-Oh still has great get every card for one price games. Legacy of the Duelist is superb, if a bit unflashy, but the free one is far more popular, sitting comfortably in the top 100 highest grossing mobile games despite it being free. Always disgusting that that's a way you can search games by, but whatever, we'll move on. Here's the current highest rated review for the free-to-play Yu-Gi-Oh game on Steam. Truly depends on how much money you are willing to throw at this game or fully grind every single thing to create the deck you want in the ever-changing meta and power balancing issues. That review recommends the game. That is a positive review. For a price I assume is far lower than the microtransactions in that game, why not just pick up Legacy of the Duelist? 10,000 cards, play with your mates, play a story mode, what am I missing? And now it's getting worse. We have NFTs, virtual certificates of ownership that are designed to limit digital works even further and commercialize everything they touch. Fuck that! Let me give you an example. Upcoming card game, Doctor Who Worlds Apart. Well, I got into the early beta of that, of course I fucking did, and was surprised to notice that they hadn't actually remembered to launch the fucking game yet. It was just a shop where you could buy digital cards for a game that you couldn't play yet. A game not coming out for an entire year. What the fuck? The cards are given NFTs so that you can claim ownership to each one, like it's a real physical card, which it isn't. They've got a fair few different packs to choose from. At the lower end, the core pack, unlimited supply, $2.99 for 5 cards. Now, that seems steep for a thing that doesn't actually exist, but whatever, the boat on that, as I've previously said in this video, has already sailed, hit an iceberg, and sunk. Now, here's a question. How much do you think for the more expensive pack, which is 10 cards with artificially limited borders? How much? Have a guess, go on. Did you guess $50 for 10 digital cards? Then you'd be wrong, because it's $196.30 for 10 digital cards. It's getting mad. Recently, a digital video clip, just 10 seconds long, sold for $6.6 million. Some rich cunt spent $6.6 million on a video you can just watch online for free so they can now pretend that they're the only one who owns it. Like they've got the main one. the original. First of, it's not the original. That's just a bunch of ever-moving bits on a hard drive somewhere. Second, his version is exactly the same as anybody who also has a copy of it. That's how digital information works. Just because you've glued metadata to it, you own it? No! Oh, and it's getting madder. On Friday, an NFT token attached to a public digital work sold for $70 million. Remember Nyan Cat? Fucking Nyan Cat? The GIF of Nyan Cat sold for $650,000. Now someone owns Nyan Cat. But of course, they don't, do they? Oh, and the very first tweet by Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey, it's currently being auctioned. The current biggest bid is $2.5 million. $2.5 million to say that you own a tweet hosted on someone else's server that someone else wrote that anyone can access an exact fucking copy of? Even the fucking NBA are getting in on this, selling clips with NFTs attached. Do you want to be the only person who owns a specific Michael Jordan clip that you can watch for free on YouTube? Just give them money and they'll pretend that that's the case. NBA Top Shot states at the very top of its page that people have spent $200 million on these clips, and also that 40,000 people have bought them. So that means that the average person on NBA Top Shot is spending $5,000 each. No wonder DC Comics have announced plans to get in on this action. This whole thing is starting to feel like the Emperor's New Clothes. A whole bunch of people are pretending that they own stuff that they don't. I just want to lean out my window as the parade goes past and scream, "Hey, wankers! Your arseholes hanging out!" When NFTs kicked off, my voice is going now, I saw a few smaller digital artists get quite excited. Not only could this be a sustainable source of income, which is quite difficult to do, with the way things are currently set up, but now they could sell originals of digital art without people fucking them over for refunds. Sell the art, person confirms they like it, you send the token. Nice protection, confirmed ownership for the buyer, win-win. It didn't last. Now here's the thing about NFTs, they're unregulated. Anyone can glue one to anything. It's like those sites that steal popular tweets and art and paste them onto t-shirts, only now they're stealing everything. I've seen people brag that they own a celebrity's pinned tweet. You don't! If a dog pisses on a lamppost, it doesn't actually own the fucking lamppost. Sure, other dogs may think that it does, but they're too stupid to understand the basics of the world, bless them, let alone the complex nature of city infrastructure and the workings of your local county council. I've not even begun to touch on the horrific environmental costs of NFTs, as well as all cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin, just Bitcoin by itself, now takes up 0.45% of the entire planet's electrical consumption. Due to all the servers and checks that come into play, an average Ethereum transaction, which is the cryptocurrency that NFT use, spits out 20 kilos of CO2. One fraction of a second transaction, 20 kilos of CO2. To compare, an email is just a few grams. An hour of Netflix is 36 grams. This is fucking monstrous, and that's just for an average currency transaction. Get an NFT involved, and it goes up to an average of 212 kilos of CO2 per fucking transaction. Click, 200 kilos of CO2 in the air. That's the equivalent of driving for 1,000 kilometers to sell one digital painting that was probably stolen from a small artist's Twitter. Jesus fucking Christ. I think it's best to think of NFTs as a big trading card game played by absolutely selfish wankers where you make your own cards out of anything. The Capitalism level 2, crystallized ego, looking at something someone else has created, going, "Do you have a flag?" and then selling it. They're the equivalent of that "I made this" meme. Oh, and then they fuck the environment to death. The slightly good news is I don't think that this will last. Governments are going to shit on this the moment they work out that computers are things. Not only is the world starting to properly fight against climate change, fucking finally, but unregulated money never stays unregulated for long. Oh, and revenge porn is a current easy point winner for a lot of governments, right? Well, with NFTs, if someone posts a nude of you to the internet without your consent, somebody else can say they own it and then sell it. NFTs look unstoppable, but they got some massive glowing weak spots. But that doesn't really matter, because that's not what they're about. This isn't a longevity thing. The artist of that $70 million piece shout out this statement.
Artists have been using hardware and software to create artwork and distribute it on the internet for the last 20 plus years, but there was never a real way to truly own and collect it. With NFTs, that has now changed. I believe we are witnessing the beginning of the next chapter in art history, digital art.
First up, yes, there was a way to own and collect it. You downloaded it. Everyone then gets a copy. Brilliant, art for all. Second, this isn't the next chapter in art, is it? No, this is yet another fucking chapter in a different book called Money and How It's Shit. It's people pretending that they own something of value so hard that they convince other people to buy it. This spirals and you end up with, well, the current economy. Look, art has nothing to do with this. It's just the mask the monster is wearing today. Look, I will sum this up now. Fuck crypto, fuck NFTs, and fuck every selfish cunt involved with them. This planet is fucking burning and you're pushing it over the edge to pretend you own a Taylor Swift tweet. Fuck you and your lust for capitalism that goes against the principles the internet was originally built for. And while I'm at it, fuck capitalism. And this isn't a rant series. Oh well, that's I thought that'll do. The Patreon number's good on it. Fuck capitalism. Also, can I have some bread, please?